Uh-oh, enemy critical damage in Dokkan? Really? So that doesn't seem good. I wanted to share my thoughts on this little revelation that we had a couple of days ago when the data download kicked in for JP. We talked about reflective damage, we talked about battle bombs, but we didn't talk about enemy critical. So I wanted to make this quick little video to discuss that. So big shout out to Ignidex for bringing this to light. First of all, critical damage, what is it? It basically bypasses enemy defense and type advantage and essentially does double damage. Which is funny because when I was thinking about enemies hitting me with a critical attack, I was actually thinking of Fire Emblem. In Fire Emblem, you take triple the damage. So be thankful this isn't Fire Emblem. That hurts. If you've ever been criticaled in Fire Emblem on like a 5% crit chance, that is brutal. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Criticals for the enemies in Dokkan. Let me just share my thoughts on this first, and then we'll talk about a little bit of speculation and how this could be implemented and things like that. Nothing I'm saying past this point is based on anything tangible. All that we know is that it's in the database. It's listed as an enemy skill. That's it. Everything after this is all speculation. So feel free to share your own thoughts in the comments down below. We really don't have much else to go off of. What do I think about critical damage being on the enemy side in Dokkan? I don't think this is good. I think that this is in fact a very bad thing because I don't think that this is the sort of additional RNG that players need. Considering this is a game that is meant to be played at your own pace, you probably might play an event or two multiple times per session, maybe more. The inevitability of all of your hard work on any given turn with all the other different variables that already exist, high chance to do this, 50% chance to do that, 20% chance of this and that, all these different things culminating into a final climactic moment where everything comes down to your ability to tank, and then your unit gets blasted with a critical damaging attack instead, would completely just undercut that moment. It would ruin the run. I just don't think that this is something that we need. Now, that being said, if this is implemented in a very methodical, particular way, then this could maybe be okay. If there is like a strategic out for something like this, which I'll elaborate on in a second. But in general, this just doesn't seem like a good idea. This seems like a very bad idea. I would like to give Dokkan the benefit of the doubt here. First of all, we're not even supposed to know about this. So let's get that out of the way first. We are not supposed to know any of this stuff. We are tampering with the natural order by doing the data mining stuff. So, you know, we should not jump to massive conclusions before we know what they have to tell us about it. They will probably elaborate on what this is in a future video. Like, for example, if this is going to be dropping during worldwide download, then they will probably explain whatever mechanic this is connected to during the worldwide download video. Like, for example, last year, that was how we found out about the domain, right? That was where we first found out about the infinite Zamasu stratosphere thingy, right? It was in the worldwide download video that we learned about it. So I would say at least wait until that before we fully judge away and come to our conclusions about it. But just based on what limited information that we have from this, I don't think that it is a good thing, but we'll see. Now, that being said, what is this methodical, particular way that they could implement it that could be okay? Well, what if this is an enemy ability? First of all, it is in the database as an enemy skill, but what if this is listed as an enemy ability that is then able to be overwritten by one of your abilities? So basically, it's a dangerous thing to have to deal with, but if you can counter it, you don't have to worry about it. It's kind of like you'll take a bajillion damage from Cell Max unless you have the appropriate characters who can do extra damage or tank the event, right? But this is now more catered towards critical damage. So for example, I'm just making this up. Let's say you're in an event where Perfect Cell generates the Cell Games Arena. While he is in the Cell Games Arena, while he creates this enemy domain, he has stat boosts, he can do more damage to you, and he has a non-zero percentage chance to critical you. Now, how much the percentage could end up being, I don't know. We have seen the power of the 3%. I'm sure you 3% dodge fans are very much aware of the power of the 3% dodge. We have seen it happen. So if it could happen for us, it could happen for them. And you know what's crazy? As a Fire Emblem fan, the chances in Dokkan versus Fire Emblem are crazy. In Dokkan, a 3% actually could happen. In Fire Emblem, a 3% never happens. Anyway, I just wanted to share my little gripe with that. But let's say a 3%, let's say Cell gets a 3% chance to crit you. Is that something that you want to have to deal with? Yeah? Okay, sure. Live dangerously. If you don't, you would need to have your Broly kick in and, I don't know, activate his domain where he creates that hyperdimension field, and then boom, he overwrites the Cell Arena and thus overwrites all of the home court advantage abilities that come with it. Now, if they do something like that, that would be cool. That would make domains more important. That would make the concept of overwriting domains a thing, which I think is an important mechanic for the domain to begin with. We will be getting a domain expansion as far as abilities and what it can do, I think around June. In that roadmap to full synchro, there were a couple other major mechanical changes that they're talking about that they want to do, and that also involves enemy skills and domain expansion. So in that, I can totally see them adding something like domain overwriting, or having parallel domains. You know, like on one turn you have Broly's hyperdimension, on the other turn you have Goku Black's blue skies, right? So they are probably going to make the domain mechanic more malleable, more flexible. So along with that, if you can overwrite enemy abilities, I think that would be a good way to do it. Also, I will say that if these increased crit chances, these non-zero crit chances, I say non-zero because I just don't know how much it's going to be, but it's going to be there, right? So this is going to increase the value of target focus effect. It's going to increase the value of dodge, damage reduction, and guard. All of these things have just become a heck of a lot more valuable, because now you are going to have to really think which characters can tank these things. And now that we've been in 8 years of Dokkan, 9 years of Dokkan now, almost 10 years, where we have sort of played the game a certain way. We know kind of how much to gauge. Like a 90% damage reduction unit, we can kind of gauge how much damage they're going to take against Fusion Zamasu, Cell Max, Frieza's Red Zone, the legendary Frieza event, which is out on JP, you know? But now when you add the critical in there, that adds a new wrinkle to it, because now you are eliminating defense type, or your enemy's defense. You're eliminating type advantage. So how much is a 90% damage reduction unit now going to be able to tank under the same circumstances minus these elements? That's a big difference. And that's gonna, I think, generally set a tone of unease for a lot of players. Now, why the heck was I here? I was here because I wanted to take a look at like Gogeta. Global doesn't have this yet because we are still, we're still inching closer and closer to 9-year anniversary. But the target focus effect that the Gogeta has is going to become a heck of a lot more useful, because now you can draw in all attacks, be they regular or criticals, and they will all be nullified courtesy of a target focus effect. This is going to make newer characters more useful. This is going to make, sadly, this is going to make older characters who don't have these types of things less useful, but it is also going to make, like I said, dodge, guard, damage reduction, all those things retroactively much more valuable. Is that good for the landscape of Dokkan? That, I would say, is up to each individual person. It really just depends on who you are as a player, how you like to play the game. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below, because I can't really speak for all of you guys. I think personally this is not a good thing, but like I said, we got to wait to see how they implement it. It could be interesting. I would like to think that they're going to do this in a very tasteful way, in a very easy to manage kind of way, but we'll see. I'm gonna reserve judgment until the very end, until we actually find out. But anyway, that's it. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this. I would love to know what you guys have to say on this, and let the conversation begin. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on enemy critical damage. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you play Fire Emblem? And what was the lowest percentage you ever got criticaled in a Fire Emblem game? Let me know. For me, it was 1%. No, 2%. Yes. And it was against the Black Knight. I did not like that. That only like 5 of you will answer that question. But let me know your thoughts on the enemy critical in Dokkan in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you literally know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.